Hello, pre-algebra students. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to go over lesson 7.1 on pages 264 and 265. Okay, I'm going to go over two concepts with you. The first one is how to convert a percent to a fraction. Okay, here we have 88%, and that means 88 out of 100. Like if you got a grade of an 88% on a math test, that would mean you got 88 out of 100% correct, okay? So we would write our 88 as our numerator and our 100 as our denominator, okay? And then you just have to reduce that to lowest terms. Now, remember to use your divisibility rules to help you. They should be written in your flip chart. Otherwise, you can look back in your book and find those, okay? If you reduce it correctly, you will get 22 over 25, okay? All right, let me do another one with you here. 37.5%. Okay, now this one's got a fraction with it, okay? And so we need to convert that fraction into a decimal. And let me just remind you how to do that. If we have 1/2, we take 1 divided by 2, put our decimal point and add a 0, okay? 2 goes into 10 5 times, so 2 times 5 is 10, okay? So it's 0.5. So then we end up with 37.5%, okay? Now, and we're still going to write that with 100 under that, okay? Now, I'm going to teach you a way I think maybe might be a little bit easier for you than what your book does, but you can always look at the example in your book and go with whichever way is going to be easier for you. Okay, so this means 37.5 divided by 100. So I'm going to write 37.5 and divide that by 100. Okay, let me put my decimal point in my answer so that I don't forget at the end of the problem. Okay, 100 goes into 375 3 times. 100 times 3 is 300. If I subtract, I get 75. 75 is less than 100. It didn't come out even, so let's add a 0 and bring it down. Okay, 100 goes into 750 7 times. 100 times 7 would be 700. If I subtract, I get 50. Hasn't come out even yet. Let's try one more 0 and bring it down. Okay, 100 goes into 500 5 times. 5 times 100 is 500. Okay? All right, this time it came out even. Okay, now we're going to write that as a fraction. Okay? So that would be 375 over. Now, let's look at our place value. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So it's going to be over 1,000. Okay. And again, what you'll need to do is you'll need to use your divisibility rules to help you reduce this. Okay. And if you reduce it correctly, you will get 3/8. Okay. So that's one that just takes a little bit longer. But once you get used to it, it's you should know the concepts. We've done all these different concepts, but it's just putting it all together now. Okay? All right, so that's converting a percent to a decimal. Okay? Now, we're going to go over converting a percent to a decimal. Okay, we just got done converting a percent to a fraction and reducing it. But now we're going to convert percent to decimal. So if I have 8%, I'm going to show you the easiest way to do this. Now, 8's a whole number, okay? And we don't write decimal points in whole numbers. But if we did, it would be after the whole number, correct? Okay? And to change that whole number to a decimal, all you do is move it 2 places to the left and put your decimal point. Here we have to add a 0. So it would be 0.08. That would be the decimal for 8%. Okay? All right, let me do another one. 32 and 1/4%. Okay, here we have a fraction that needs to be changed to a decimal. Okay? So remember, to change a fraction to a decimal, it's top number divided by the bottom number. Okay? 4 goes into 10 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract, you get 2. If it doesn't come out even, try adding a 0 and bringing it down. 4 goes into 20 5 times. 4 times 5 is 20. So it's 0.25. So now we've got 32.25 because we converted the fraction to a decimal. Now, the same rule applies. To change this whole percent, all we did was change the 1/4 percent to a decimal. But to change this entire percent to a decimal, we've still got to move our decimal point 2 places to the left. So if we do that, 1, 2, here's our answer, 0.3225. Okay? All right, that will take you through skill check 1. Remember, email me your answers, and I'll be glad to check them to make sure you're understanding it correctly. Okay? All right, have a blessed day.